Straight ahead on 12 News, a piece of land that could soon fill what Brooklyn Park's mayor calls an important need. Then, a North Hennepin teacher's musical mission. Why that mission leads to Iowa. But first, charges against a former Minneapolis cop for soliciting sex online with minors.
People who are friends on internet sites may not turn out to be friendly.
12 News starts right now. Bradley Schnickel was let go by the Minneapolis Police Department today after being charged with 6 felonies, including sexual contact with several young girls.
The Schnickel case began with an alleged victim in Brooklyn Center, then led to Anoka County, where authorities say there could be other victims out there. Operating under the name of Brady Schmidt, authorities say 32-year-old Bradley Schnickel of Andover used Facebook to solicit sex and exchange nude photos with at least 5 different girls under the age of 16 over the past year and a half.
The allegations are that he misled these young girls into believing.
It's an investigation that began in Brooklyn Center last October when police were contacted by a mother worried about her juvenile daughter's alleged contact with Schnickel.
We got a call from a concerned mother that had found some what she thought was inappropriate pictures or texting on her daughter's phone. That
case is in the hands of Hennepin County for possible charging, but it was the Brooklyn Center Police Department's investigation that led to Anoka County, where, according to the criminal complaint, Schnickel had sex with a 14-year-old girl and solicited at least 3 other minors.
We are reviewing about 9,000 pages of social networking documentation. We have gotten through about 1/3 of that so far.
Anoka County Attorney Tony Palumbo called the case a teachable moment for parents.
As we know, the internet is obviously a doorway into your home. That doorway needs to be monitored by parents.
Schnickel's unconditional bail was set at $500,000, and he's ordered not to have contact with any juvenile girls, including his own 2-year-old and 6-month-old daughters. Schnickel's next court date is March 6th.
A Brooklyn Center police officer has been cleared in the shooting death of a 20-year-old man. It happened last May when Officer Ku Mua confronted a man walking down the street with a gun in his hand. The man died at the scene of multiple gunshot wounds. Hennepin County grand jury considered the case yesterday and decided not to issue charges. Mua has been a Brooklyn Center police officer since 2008. A 32-year-old St. Louis Park man is in jail after leading police on a high-speed chase.
Police say the suspect drove 13 miles the wrong way on Northwest Metro freeways. It started on I-394 in Minnetonka about 2:30 this morning. Police clocked the suspect's car at 97 miles an hour. The driver led police to Highway 55, then Interstate 494 in Plymouth, where he started going the wrong way, northbound in the southbound lanes. At this point, police were tracking him on a traffic camera. They shut down a portion of 694 to guard against a head-on collision. The driver eventually crashed into a median at Shingle Creek Parkway. Brooklyn Center police arrested Michael Edwards. Police are charging him with a DWI. He will also face charges of fleeing police.
A big piece of the puzzle. That's the reaction from Brooklyn Park's mayor about a proposed apartment project north of the 610 freeway. The project would be located near Target's northern campus in Brooklyn Park. The mayor says one thing the city lacks is high-end apartments geared toward young professionals. In fact, the mayor says the city has none.
When we've talked to businesses about relocating or starting new operations in our city, is they've said that's a detriment. That's a thing that we're missing.
We first built up here, the hook was Target's going to be doing this this big development up here, and we've kind of waited for this stuff for 9 years, and I think it's I think the stuff is it's time to get going with it, I guess.
The city officials say there's a significant investment in the project. The city hopes with projects like this that retail and restaurants will follow.
Minnesota lawmakers are forming a unified front to repeal a tax on medical devices.
Now is not the time to raise costs on domestic manufacturing. Now is not the time to have another tax from Washington that will hurt what is truly an American success story.
This week, Republican Congressman Eric Paulson introduced a bill to repeal a 2.3% tax on medical devices. Democratic Senators Amy Klobuchar and Al Franken co-sponsored a companion bill. Paulson says about 25% of the $30 billion generated by this tax comes from Minnesota's med tech companies. That is the highest of any state. Supporters of the bill say small startups have the most to lose.
It is devastating for our cash flow. It's sucked all of the R&D money out. Employees are obviously nervous that, are we going to get paid? Because the government needs to get paid before they do.
Right now, lawmakers have not come up with a plan to make up for lost revenue should the tax be repealed.
Well, here's some news that may make you want to take your foot off the gas. Prices at the pump have risen dramatically. AAA reports the increase over the last 3 weeks was the highest in 2 years. The average price today was $3.56 a gallon. Just a month ago, it was below $3. A spokesperson for AAA says several factors are driving up prices. They include regional refinery outages due to maintenance and early conversions to summertime blends. Well, if you're traveling this weekend, you may run into one more challenging thing, one of the most challenging storms of the winter season.
After a storm in December that left huge ruts in area roads for days, MnDOT is hoping to keep snow and ice from bonding to the highways. But with the forecast that includes everything from sleet, freezing, drizzle, rain, and up to 6 inches of snow, that will not be easy.
That's not a real good progression for us to follow for a snowstorm. What happens is we'll get the roads all slicked up when icy, and some of the chemicals we've been putting down in anticipation of the snowstorm off into the ditches, and we get that bond started with the sleet and the roadway surface and then the snow on top of it. It makes it more problematic.
MnDOT plows will be out early putting out chemicals before the storm. Just how effective they'll be depends on how much rain we get. Coming up, we swing into the past with a North Hennepin teacher's passion for music.
Then later in sports, local Alpine skiers hit the course for section competition.
But first, it's a look at your AccuWeather forecast.
For nearly 80 years, the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa has hosted some of the greatest artists in music history.
Buddy Holly, The Temptations, and Louis Armstrong, to name just a few. And next week, you can have a chance to experience the landmark for yourself. In today's Weekend Showcase, Renee Bonneau explains how you can take part in one rockin' history lesson.
I don't remember how it started.
There were ballrooms all across the country in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and in the 70s and 80s when music changed, a lot of those were torn down. But the surf remains.
The Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa is considered by many to be an icon of American music. It was a mandatory stop for aspiring big bands in the 30s and 40s.
2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock.
And for rising rock stars in the 50s and beyond.
It hosted what would be the final performance of Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens.
On February 3rd, 1959, shortly after playing the surf, the three men boarded a plane that crashed shortly after takeoff. The event inspired the song American Pie and is often referred to as the day the music died.
But February made me shiver with every paper I delivered.
Today, the surf is not only a lively concert hall, but it's also a museum.
You know, I've been hearing about the surf since I was born.
North Hennepin Community College music faculty member Jonas Westover has spent years studying the history of the Surf Ballroom. He was born in Clear Lake, and his grandparents were regulars at the surf.
They went every single Saturday for years with 3 other couples.
Westover wants to share his passion for the building's history with others. Next Wednesday, he's leading a class about the Surf Ballroom, and on Friday, he's taking the group to Clear Lake to tour the surf and experience a live concert there. The class is open to the public.
What we're doing is giving people an opportunity to see really one of the most important venues in American popular music history.
For Weekend Showcase, I'm Renee Bonneau.
The fee for the class is $75 and covers the bus ride, tour, and concert ticket. For more information, you can call North Hennepin Community College at 763-424-0880. Gonna have some of those songs in my head, I think.
Yeah.
Coming up, an out-of-this-world experience for a Golden Valley teacher.
But first in sports, a local girls' Nordic ski team is headed back to state. John Jacobson has their story when we come back. Local skiers with their eye on the prize, a trip to Biwabik possibly next week.
One of the first state meets here.
It is the first state, yeah. Alpine one day, and then the Nordic the next day, and the winter playoffs will begin. The high school Alpine ski season wraps up next week with the state meet. Spots at state were up for grabs for most local schools that offer the sport. And it's at the Section 5 meet, the windy Afton Alps. In girls action, this is Mackenzie Cook of Maple Grove. She's headed to state. Her second run time, 33.43 seconds, and she places 13th overall. Wayzata's Laura Gove is also state bound. She places 16th with a total time of 111.03 for 2 runs. She's the only Trojan skier to advance. Here's the girls' winner, Rosie Hust of Orono, just an 8th grader. She wins her second section championship with a total time of 1 minute 4.51 seconds. The boys' action now. The individual champion is Jack McNeil of Blake. He takes the top spot in a time of 101.47 and helps the Bears reach state as team runner-up. Peter Kiesel of Breck skis Wells. His second run of 30.52 seconds helps him finish 4th, and he saves the fall for after he's done. Steve Weekman of Hopkins grabs the final individual state berth. He will head to state as we look at the team scores. Orono wins. Blake grabs the second team spot at state on the boys' side. Benilde and Breck are 5-6 with Hopkins 8th, Maple Grove 9th, Wayzata 12th, Armstrong 13th, Cooper 15th, and Osseo 17th. The Blake girls edge Minnetonka for the title, and they both go to state. Benilde, Wayzata, and Maple Grove are 5, 6, 7. Hopkins is 9th, Breck 10th, Armstrong 12th, and Heritage Academy 17th. Nordic state qualifiers also head north for the state meet next week. Highlights from Section 2. In the girls' race, Wayzata brings a very strong team, and they dominate. Elena Soneson wins the pursuit format with a time of 32 minutes, 54 seconds, nearly a minute ahead of her teammate Anna French, who places second. And then it's a Wayzata avalanche of skiers with Bryn Balls-Barker, Lauren Farquhar, Michaela Keller-Miller, and Nicole Schneider all finishing in a pack. Christine Keller-Miller finishes 10th. The Trojans win the team title. They'll go to state together.
It's cool to qualify as an individual, but to have your team there at state with you, I mean, nothing could be better. You have all of your closest friends there, and you're all rooting for each other, and you're all just, you want them to do as well as they can, and it's just so much better when you have a whole team right behind you.
Wayzata, second at state a year ago, is headed back to Biwabik again. Eden Prairie finishes second in the section ahead of Minnetonka and Elk River. Maple Grove places 6th with Rogers 12th. In the boys' Section 2 meet at Worth, Eden Prairie's Tom Bai wins the Classic and the skate races in a total time of 28 minutes, 58 seconds. The Eagles dominate with 5 skiers in the top 10. They win the team title. Maple Grove's Sean Heaton on the right of your screen finishes 8th. He qualifies for state, as does teammate Mario Calabria, who takes the last state qualifying spot.
Last year, I was psyched to go to state, but come right now, I didn't want to go alone. I did not want to make that 4-hour trip up north alone, and I got my best friend to go with me now. We're going to state together. It's going to be sick.
Congratulations to Sean and Mario. Here are the final team scores. Eden Prairie advances to state as a team. Elk River finishes second. Orono is third with Wayzata 4th. Maple Grove comes in 7th with Rogers in 11th place. For many years, Armstrong dominated the girls' basketball rivalry with Cooper. The past couple of years, the Hawks have had the stronger squad. The Robbinsdale rivals meeting at Armstrong. Cooper's Chelsea McGee whipping the pass here to a cutting Talia Rich for the easy 2. Rich scores 26 points in the night to lead all scores. Quick passing leads to an open 15-footer for Armstrong's Lyric Williams. The Falcons are down 3. Nice passing here. Rachel Russ to Emily Jacobson to Hannah Sasek for the layup. Sasek scores 14 points, but Armstrong trails by 5 at the half. Third quarter, McGee whips the cross-court pass over to Lori Bowler for a 3-pointer. The Hawks build their lead to 28-20. And they pull away from there. Tori Green drives and passes to Manita Kelly, who gets into the lane for a short jumper. Cooper wins district bragging rights with a 50-40 win. Section hockey getting underway for a couple of schools tonight, but many of them playing on Saturday.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, a Golden Valley teacher who's proof that the sky isn't the limit.
Her extraordinary classroom lesson when we come back. Well, this spring, the 2013 Minnesota Teacher of the Year will be announced in Brooklyn Park, and 3 local teachers will have a shot to get the honor. Among the list of candidates this year, Beth Schultz, a kindergarten teacher at Earl Brown IB World School, Todd Martin, a science teacher at Maple Grove Senior High in the Osseo District, and Christine Browers, a biology teacher at Cooper High School. They are among a group of 135 teachers across the state in the running. Semifinalists and finalists will be named in the coming weeks. Well, next week, one science teacher will go where no Golden Valley teacher has gone before.
And that's right. Shellen Johnson from the Breck School is one of 28 teachers in the U.S. and Germany selected to fly with NASA. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains what she'll be doing.
There's still the excitement for space travel.
The sky isn't the limit in Shellen Johnson's class.
If they want to be that first person on Mars, they're probably the right age right now.
She would like the sky to be a goal.
I keep telling them that would be my proudest moment. It would be to have one of my former students step on Mars.
Students only have to look to their teacher to learn about reaching goals.
To be able to fly on Sophia is a dream, absolutely, because I started seeing the model of this airplane about 10 years ago.
On Monday, Shellen Johnson will leave for California and spend a week with NASA.
I was very fortunate to be selected to go on this program.
She'll fly on missions in one of these, a modified 747 that is equipped with a special telescope.
Once that door is open, we're above most of the water vapor in the atmosphere, so we have a very clear view of the infrared sky.
The team will then examine the night sky. One project is to take a closer look at a familiar constellation.
We'll be monitoring a star called Betelgeuse, which is in Orion. It's a big, bright red star that's probably already exploded. We just don't know yet because it's so far away.
Johnson will bring information back to research with her students.
For them to be excited and to use this data and other data, it's just a pretty thrilling thing for me as a teacher.
In hopes students learn if she can achieve this, think of what they can do.
Science is available for them, and whatever you want to do, pursue your dreams, and if it doesn't happen the first time, keep trying.
In Golden Valley, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Mrs. Johnson has participated in NASA workshops before, but this is the very first time that she'll get to fly as part of her research. And listen to this, guys. She even gets a flight suit, and she intends to wear it in the classroom when she gets back. Why not? What a teacher to have to inspire you.
Not many opportunities come along like that one.
That's exactly
pretty cool.
right.
Yeah.
That's all the news for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Community Corner is coming up next. Everyone, you have a good weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday.